We're about 28,000 residents. And, the town's built actually on a chain of 5 lakes. This one's called Lake Osceola. Osceola, we have 3. 2 are on the water, and I'm going to tell you about all 3. This one is the Albin Polashek Museum. Albin Polashek was an internationally recognized sculptor. Some of his work is in the garden. If you see in that house, and they left it to the city as a tribute to his work, and it's been a museum since the early 60s. Yeah, that's a ceremony going on there. And here's the reception. And yeah, we'll stop on the way back and see if we can get a couple of pops. This is one of 3 houses I'm going to show you built in the 1800s. This one, 1885. It's called the Capon House. And if you're into old houses, that's open to the public. You can go in and check it out, see what an 1885 house is all about. One of the interesting things about the Capon House is that isn't where it was originally built. It was built on another lot across this lake. Obviously, they moved it. Moving houses in Winter Park's not so easy. You got a lot of narrow streets and low-hanging branches. So later in the tour, I'll tell you where they built it and how they moved it. So remember the Capon House. This is one of 2 canals we're going to go through today. This one is our Jungle Cruise Special. It's called the Turn.
So we need to try that. We'll go through this.
There was a time in history when we had a sawmill up on this lake. It doesn't exist anymore. But when it did, the lumber guys needed a way to get the cut trees up to the sawmill. So they would have dug this canal probably around 1870. There was probably no more than a dirt ditch and mules pulling cut trees up. Today the city takes care of all the canals. This is a Loma Avenue, and like the bridge wasn't low enough, the city went to put pipes underneath. So stay seated. This is not the time to stand up and introduce yourselves. Tell your favorite story. And this oak branch is not much higher than the bridge, so stay seated. And growing on this is something they call resurrection fern. Hence the name Resurrection Fern.
In my garage, got this new boat here.
This is Lake Virginia. Lake Virginia. And, Lake Virginia is where the first European settler came. He named that after himself, Lake Mizell. There wasn't anybody here in 1858 to tell him he couldn't. So these homes on our left, beginning with the White House, enjoy 2 lake views. They have Lake Mizell in front of their homes, and Lake Virginia where we are in the back. That really, yes, the sun rises over Mizell and sets here.
I guess they are now.
If you focus on this White House in the center, you can pick out the original 1800 house in the middle. Can you see? And when it looked like that, it was owned by Rollins College. They used it as a music conservatory. They called it Martin Hall. And eventually the college sold it, and the then new owners added the two big wings that you see. This wooded area where the tree line begins, all the way down to that yellow boathouse down there to the right. Charles Morris built this home for his daughter Elizabeth when she got married. He was delighted, like a lot of fathers, she was getting married, going to marry a doctor. Then he got a bonus in the deal. The guy's name was Richard Genius. I guess Dr. Genius could charge anything he wanted. I think this is the only dirt in Winter Park that's never been developed or anything. So what did Winter Park look like in the 1700s, for example, or earlier? Just like that, except to practice their water.
My sister took a before.
Now you got Well, the good news is you make it. Everything you see on this shoreline in front of us is basically Rollins College. The property line starts to the left in the trees, takes up about 95 acres. Rollins is the very first private college in the state of Florida, founded by the first top-trained healthcare. Their largest class last year was 25. Their average size class is 12. The majority almost practice. You saw the ski jump. And the identical dock on the other end is the sailing team dock. It looks like they're trying to get the dock, but we're very visitor friendly. So if you ever want to walk around, this is our Winter Park public beach area. And that pier to the right of it coming out is our public boat launch. And they are known respectively as Dinky Beach and Dinky Dock. There on the left. That's the 8,000 square foot home of the president of Rollins. One of his perks. Everything to the right of the president's house would be privately owned. There's an older home there and the farm is temporary.
Some people just like
Oh, really? I thought it was going in the water.
Jumping in. The car. What? Yeah. The little guy's like a $1,000 remote control car jumping a ramp.
We're gonna pass a statue of a frog. These are our bananas up here. Some over our head. That's the second time I'm here this week. Were you here before? No. Be careful, stay seated. This is the live oak tree, and I don't want anyone caught in the resurrection fern. And these red flowers on our right are called sleeping hibiscus. And they are fully open. That's as open as they get. There's a bougainvillea bush across the street up there. Gorgeous. And this is the bridge with all the pipes. So if you didn't get a chance to hit your head coming through, this is your last opportunity on this tour. I want to point out this live oak tree on our left. That tree is estimated to be 340 years old. That is middle age for a live oak tree. Beautiful trunk. These pine trees on my right are what they used to harvest there when there was a salt. That big tall one is about 150 years old. And this is other bamboo on our left. Flourishes here in Florida. This ordinary looking brown designer garbage can there and so on. That was built in 1901 by the guy who started Walgreens Pharmacy. They used it for a period of time. They don't own it anymore. They have a nicer place down in South Florida, Jupiter and Palm Beach. I think the drugstore business worked out. Of course, when CBS heard about that house, they built a big old next door. That's fake news, but Walgreens was true. Behind this pretty little twin boathouse is a large mansion of the same color. That was built in 1890 by a guy named Brewer, who was from upstate New York, around Syracuse. He loved it here. He wanted to move here permanently. He got a little pushback from his wife. She reminded him it was wilderness, and it was in 1890. And she also mentioned she'd miss their upstate New York home. So built an exact replica of their 21-room upstate New York home. They spent 2 generations. far right was designed by a pretty well-known architect of the 1930s and 40s. His name was James Gamble Rogers. Designed a lot of homes around the lakes in that period, probably 100. Designed this for a customer named Rich, who I presume was Rich. When he designed it, it had a lake view from every room in the house. The sand they would have brought in back then from Daytona Beach, which is prohibited now unless you put it in your bathing suit. This cove over here is still referred to as Alligator Cove. It's kind of a throwback to the days when we had lots of as opposed to which really is swimming along a bit or slowly. This is a new single-family home. They're working on it about 15 months, probably about another 18 months to go. Well, when it's finished, it'll be the largest house in the area. Before the trip's over, I'll show you the largest house currently on the lake, which is 28,000 square feet. This is going to be 41,000. They had a crane in here this last week to drop that on. But it looks like there's going to be all cars coming down. We are headed north. I know that, not only because of my nautical experience, but when the statue is installed. It's a float from the I can build on that. Now I know I'm headed north because when she was in Philly, she faces north. I refer to her 6 or 7 times a day. Great. This is